if you are offended by anything I say in this video, if you feel personally attacked, go ahead and unsubscribe from me. I don't need racist pieces of shit on my channel. And the reason why I sound aggressive right now is because I genuinely will not tolerate any form of racism on my channel. You go ahead. Let me know what you want me to know in the comment sections. But today we are going to be talking about a serious topic known as racism. Now, a lot of people will make you think that racism doesn't exist anymore. Everyone, for some reason, there are some people who genuinely believe racism doesn't exist. But today is once again proof that racism is still out there. Something people need to understand is racism isn't just calling a black person the N-word. Racism isn't just that. Racism can be in many forms. Racism, and it goes all ways. White people can be seen it. White people can be racially attacked. Black people can be racially attacked. Hispanics, Asians, everyone. But the primary target tends to be black people. And especially here in America, that's been happening for centuries upon centuries. I mean, let's not forget that the 1960s really weren't that long ago. The civil rights movement, that there are people still alive from that movement. So let's not pretend like racism isn't a thing. Let's not pretend like racism isn't there. I mean, literally, there are still Ku Klux Klan members out there. There's still the KKK is still out there. But let's talk about this. So there's this young actress named Moses Ingram, and again, this is a serious topic, so I do want to let everyone know, a little warning, that this is going to be a very sensitive topic. So there's this young actress named Moses Ingram. Now, she plays Reva. Now, I've stated before in my stream, on the Kenobi stream that I did back in Saturday, I didn't really like her character. I liked the backstory, but I didn't really like the performance all that much. I just didn't think we got really much, and she wasn't all that interesting as a character. I was far more focused on, of course, the title name, Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. So a lot of people started attacking her. I made a video calling out Mekarana42, who's another racist piece of shit, who called Mekarana42 a darkie. And I said in the video that I believe you using the word darkie and saying that just because there's a black character in it, it means it's a a human shield for diversity. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I genuinely think she's a racist piece of shit. She won't admit it because she's very ignorant, and it seems like she's obviously not educated in this manner. But Moses Ingram was racially abused by many people. And I'm not talking about the people who are criticizing her performance. I criticize her performance. But there was genuine racial abuse, and I even have receipts right here. She posted on Instagram. Now, we're not going to get... So she does talk a little bit about it. Eventually, you can see right there on the little tab. She does talk about that. But we're not here to see that clip. We're going to see the text messages, and you interpret it the way you want to. But, let's see. The first one says, "You suck, loser. You're a diversity hire, and you won't be loved or remembered for this acting role." Oh, crap. Yeah. Diversity hire. You know who's spreading that information? Mekarana42. That's why I do believe she should be deplatformed. I rarely ever say that, but I genuinely believe that Mekarana42 has caused so much harm that she does deserve to be deplatformed. But all right, let's get. And of course, this is the Mekarana thumbnail. Diversity hire, human shield operation. Get behind the darkies is real. Yeah, let's just bring up darkies, huh? Then here's another. Yo, Kenobi, you ain't finna run forever, white boy. Get back here. This is basically a racial stereotype because black people tend to be more victims of racial stereotypes. And I'm gonna bring this up. I know this is gonna be sensitive what I'm gonna say, but out of all the people of color out there, black people do tend to have it worse. I mean, when you think of, and I'm again, these are only stereotypes. These aren't, of course, this isn't, you know what I mean. But Asian people do have that stereotype of being very intelligent, being very smart, being well-educated, well-mannered. Even Hispanic. I'm Hispanic myself. We're seen as hard work. I mean, yeah, we do get bullshit, but we're seen as hard workers. We do the dirty work. We do the things that most people don't want to do for such a low wage. And you have all these other races. They get these good stereotypes, but black people do tend to get very negative stereotypes. There's a lot of bad stereotypes for black people, and one of them is rage and anger and always wanting to fight, because that is a stereotype that has existed amongst black people, and that's why there's still a lot of issues because people do still believe in those kinds of stuff. I mean, I won't lie to you. 2 years ago, my barber, I remember. So it's basically her garage, but she turned her garage into like a shop. And the reason why I bring this up is because I remember when she would always have it locked, and she would always let me in. And I one time was like, hey, I was wondering, this is a very public place, why don't you leave it unlocked? And instead of telling me, oh, I'm fearful of getting robbed or anything, she didn't say that. What she said was, I'm scared of black people robbing me. She specifically said that. Now, at the time, I was so awkward, and also she was cutting my hair, so I wasn't going to say shit. I won't even lie to you. But I remember I was genuinely shocked because she is believing a stereotype. And she even said that she rejects black customers. So imagine what goes on with other places. Black people are tend to seen as violent, tend to be seen as people who steal, and that's a stereotype that exists. So this right here, they're using a stereotype on a black woman right here. And look, the words, they're obviously using stereotypes because in society, for some reason, black men and black women are tend to be seen as violent and aggressors. You know, even in movies, you see it all the time, and it's something that frustrates me. And this was one of the messages, but and then they bring up George Floyd and kind of mock, this man who passed away, and you want to mock his death or something like what? Um, oh yeah, I think I skipped the message. There was more text messages. So this is her speaking on the manner. Uh, is there anything else really? What? Oh crap! This video is missing. I should have watched this video beforehand. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There was also one calling her the N word, and of course there are hundreds of messages because look, the Star Wars fandom historically has been very poor on issues like this. I mean, let's not forget John Boyega got a lot of crap just because he's a black man. And again, you can criticize the performance. We're not talking about the people criticizing the performance. We are talking about the pieces of shit who are basically sending racial remarks. Now, the Star Wars Twitter account posted this 18 hours ago saying, we are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say, we resist. That's a nice thing. That's very calm. I guarantee you if this had been like a white guy, nobody would have been complaining. I guarantee you. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Just imagine a white guy being casted in this role. I guarantee you no one would have felt anything because for some reason people believe that once you cast a minority that immediately means you're forcing diversity. No, it doesn't. It just means that hey, the actor has a particular skill that the directors want. They want to have that person. They want to have their skill, and yeah, they want the job done. This is no different than hiring your average Jose to mow your lawn. Okay, this ain't nothing special. They saw her. They were like, hey, she can play the performance. Let's hire her and then bring her on. But I guarantee if this was a white guy, no one would have been complaining. And then they bring this up saying, there are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxies. Don't choose to be a racist. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree? We can agree on that, right? Unless you're like some white supremacist KKK looking neo-Nazi redneck weirdo with the Confederate flag in his backyard, unless you're that guy, then you should be able to agree on this, right? And this is all they posted. But then the usual victims came in. The Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, the Ryan Cannells, of course, Macarena 42, always bitching like she usually does. The Quarter, I mean, I actually don't know if the Quartering has said anything, but Ryan Cannell specifically has been very vocal. And then they started saying, look, Star Wars is attacking the fans and calling fans racist, using ist or isms. You would have thought that they ran over their moms in the highway. No, all they did was just don't be racist. Simple. But guess what these morons did? These morons started saying, oh, Star Wars attacked the fans. No, what the Star Wars account said is, hey, please don't be racist. Moses Ingram literally has receipts of racial abuse towards her. Because want to know something? Society has normalized these black stereotypes that now black people black people have been seen as lesser for centuries. But now, with slavery gone, the civil rights, everything, it's now more impersonal. It's more mindset wise. It's not really something physical outside. This isn't like literally 4 years ago, you could literally get away with saying the hard R N word on YouTube and no one would care. iDubbbz. iDubbbz is a literal YouTuber with million subscribers and had one of the most popular series known as Content Cop, and he would get away with saying the hard R N word and no one would care. But now we're living in a society where that's becoming less susceptible. But just because it's less susceptible doesn't mean it's gone. And this is what I have to say. To those people who are mad, at the Star Wars account, go ahead and unsubscribe. I know I said that at the beginning, but go ahead and unsubscribe. Because you're a race. Because if you are offended by this, then you are the problem. You. Yeah, you. I'm looking at you, straight at you. Whatever your name is, you are the problem. The problem is in Moses Ingram. She literally said nothing prior to this. Nothing. She was simply just a black woman hired to do a job. And again, it's fine if you criticize her acting. Nobody's mad at that. But this victim mentality of these geeks and gamers and Ryan Kindle people, these alt-right weirdos, all of these guys, it's like they complain about liberals feeling victimized, which I won't even deny you. There are liberals I really hate. I've criticized liberals in my past, but to these alt-righters, these weirdos, they always play the victim card. Let's not forget Ryan Kindle just a couple of months ago complained that the Batman movie had too many good black people, and then when he was getting a lot of criticism, the first thing he said was, "Oh my God, why are they hurting my feelings?" And look, I don't tolerate a lot of the stuff they said to him. They were sending death threats, but that's nothing compared to what Moses Ingram did, because Moses Ingram literally just existed. She just happened to have a different color tone than Ryan Kindle. And yet she got far more abuse than Ryan Kindle could ever. And again, this isn't attacking Star Wars fans. You know what this is attacking? Racist pieces of shit. Ryan Kindle, Jeremy Griggs, Macarena 42, these are racist pieces of shit. These are racist pieces of shit. It doesn't matter whether you have a black friend. It doesn't matter whether you have black employees. It doesn't matter whether you like black characters in movies. When you're complaining about Star Wars accounts saying that racism's bad, then you're racist, because being racist isn't just saying the N-word. Again, if you think that, then you're probably a fucking moron. Realistically, you're a moron. You're very uneducated, and you clearly lack any common sense. You clearly do. And if you're mad at this, you are the problem. And like I said in my community tab, eventually society will grow out of this. Society grew out of slavery. Society grew out of black people not even being able to vote. Society has grown and grown and grown and grown now that things are being less socially acceptable. A couple of years ago, you could get away with punching a gay kid. Now you do that, of course, it's a hate crime, which is good, because society is going to keep improving and improving and improving. I'll tell you this right now. When my dad first came to this country back in the 80s, he had a lot of racial abuse towards him just for being Latino. And back in the day, there was very few Latinos in the country. Now there's a lot of Latinos to the point where you could go to your average local store, McDonald's, wherever, and you'll have a Spanish speaker there helping everyone, all the immigrants who don't know English. So society changes. And one thing that will change within the next 10, 20 years is stuff like this. When people look back at YouTube now, they're going to look at these geeks and gamers, these Ryan Kindles, Macarena 42s, and they're going to think, wow, that was a dark time in our history. That was a terrible time period, and we regret that. And we denounce these people. Because that's going to happen. Let's not even fight it or debate it. That's going to happen. The term woke, the term SJW, that's going to die out, because eventually society is going to improve. And we're seeing that already. I mean, more people in the LGBTQ plus people are starting to feel more comfortable. Of course, racism is less tolerated. We're still not perfect. Obviously, there's still a lot of issues. But we're going to get there, with or without you. Because again, society has changed. Society changes over time for the better. So, honestly, you might as well join us. You might as well join the good side. Because, again, history will look back at these guys and think, wow, these guys are weirdos. Kind of like how we look at the Confederate Army nowadays in U.S. history. U.S. history. I don't know why it was paused for a bit. But, it's kind of like how we see the Confederates back then. Back in the 1860s, if you were from the South, it was common to be a Confederate and to fight against, the USA. Now, it is socially unacceptable to support the Confederate. Because society changes, society improves. Back in the 60s, it was common to believe MLK was out of his mind. MLK Jr., Martin Luther King Jr. Now, it is societally unaccepted if you criticize Martin Luther King Jr. because society changes. Society will change for the better. It will. You may not see it now, but hopefully you see it sooner rather than later because the things you guys are saying are unacceptable. Unacceptable. And if you have a problem with black people in movies, then fuck off. Go ahead. Report me if you need to. Block me if you need to. Send whatever comments you need towards me. Dislike this video. I don't care. At least when I leave YouTube and retire, at least I can have my head held up high and realize, hey, I was being honest. I was being good. And I knew the truth. I knew the reality. Again, the Star Wars account wasn't attacking Star Wars fans. They were attacking the racist pieces of shit. Ryan Cannell, I suggest you leave the internet. Maybe go back into the army. I don't know how old he is, but maybe go back into the army. Maybe go back into the gym and stay there. Because society is going to move on with or without you. Mekaranda 42, go back to whatever Ku Klux Klan meeting you're in. Because honestly, society does not want you here. Society does not need your kind of racist behavior. I have no sympathy for these people anymore. I've tried playing the nice guy. I've tried being very calm. I've tried to do the best I could to give them the benefit of the doubt. Especially Jeremy Griggs. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I remember I defended people saying, there would be people calling him white supremacist and all this and all that. But now I don't care anymore. You get that label for a reason. You brought that label upon yourself. I didn't even like Moses Ingram, but you don't see anyone calling me a white supremacist, right? I can guarantee you that. I didn't like Moses Ingram's performance in the Kenobi series, but nobody's calling me a white supremacist. You want to know why? Because I'm not putting out racist behavior like this. I'm not victimizing myself. I'm not. But you guys are. And that's why people call you white supremacists. That's why people call you KKK members. And you're not. But hey, you put that label on yourself for a reason. Let's keep that simple. Let's keep that simple right there. And before anyone uses this BS of saying, oh, but makes Windows black or Lando's black, well, you also have to remember that we are now living in a time period where everything's woke. Because pre-2015, 2016, this is really not a thing. Unless you were a genuine, really racist piece of shit. Not only that, but y'all grew up with this. So obviously you don't really see it that way. When you're a kid, you don't think of skin color. But now you do see it that way. And not only that, it's a cool trend. It's clear that these grifters are doing this because it gives them a paycheck. It's clear that they care more about paying their bills than their integrity. But look, eventually, YouTube channels will always die. Eventually, your YouTube channel will die, unless you're like PewDiePie. But YouTube channels eventually die. When your channel dies, you're no longer going to have that income. You're no longer going to have that sustainable ad revenue. Because now, at that point, you're only going to have to depend on your legacy. And again, like I'm saying, it's becoming more societally unacceptable for this kind of behavior to exist. I mean, literally back in 2017, SJW cringe videos were the most popular thing ever. Now, it's like a half and half. Now you have more people calling out this racist kind of behavior and all that, and all this and that. And now it's becoming more unacceptable to do that kind of behavior. Because society changes over time. Maybe instead of calling things woke, maybe instead go do some research, go actually know your knowledge, maybe stop being a moron on the internet, and learn a thing or two. Go outside, touch some grass, meet fellow human beings, Whether they're black, white, Asian, whatever, I don't care. I don't care about diversity. I'll tell you that straight up. I don't care about diversity. I have yet to even talk about the Blue Beetle movie, yet I'm proud of it because it's a Latino-led movie. I'm proud of America Chavez, Hispanic actress in a movie. That's cool. To me, that I feel pride in that. And I didn't even talk about it. I don't care about diversity. I'll tell you that straight up. But the thing is, we still live in a society that still isn't at that point where we could stop caring. Maybe in 10, 20, 30 years, I don't know, maybe even a century, eventually we'll stop caring about diversity because eventually it won't really matter anymore. It won't matter because people aren't going to see black guy, white guy, or anything. They're just going to see, oh, look, a black actress, a black actor, whatever, and then not care anymore. Because eventually that's what people are trying to do right now. We're trying to live in a world where diversity no longer matters. But clearly these morons on the internet, clearly they don't want that. They want to live in a world where only straight white men get to be in movies. And look, I love straight white men. As a heterosexual, cisgendered male, I myself like seeing white guys in movies because white guys are cool. White people are awesome. I mean, Batman is a white guy, so white people are pretty cool. I mean, Superman, Spider-Man, all these icons are white. Luke Skywalker. But I also want to see other people in movies and shows, and we're getting that. And again, society is going to change from that. Because nobody in 30 years is going to think, oh my God, that Geeks and Gamers guy was right. They were right about this. They were correct about this. They knew what they were talking about. They were ahead of their time. They were criticizing wokeness before it was cool. No, what they're going to look back and think is, holy crap, really? This is what you genuinely believed? And again, I bring back the time periods from back in the day. Back in the 60s, a lot of people hated Martin Luther King Jr. Now, everyone loves him. All white people love him, except white supremacists. But yeah. And again, you gave yourself that label. You have nobody, Macarena42, Ryan Kinno, Quartering, all these other channels, you have nobody to blame but yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. And if you felt that tweet was attacking you, the problem isn't the tweet. The problem is you.